game is called The Giant and the Landforms.
We're going to teach you about 4 things that we learned in class. The first thing that we learned about is legends. Legends are mythical things that are not true. We learned about cultures around the world. The second thing we learned is worry dolls. Worry dolls are from Guatemala. The children use the worry dolls to put under their pillow at night, and it would take away their worries. We used a worry doll for the giant to take away his worries. The third thing we learned about is landforms. Some of the landforms were mesa, cliff, and valley. The ones that we used in the story were a peninsula, mountain, waterfall, and volcano.
Fourth thing we learned about was electricity. Electricity happens when power is generated through a closed electric circuit. We actually made a waterfall out of electricity. Things we used were a closed circuit, a battery, a tube, and a wire.
And we also made a peninsula with stars in the background, but we really used Christmas lights, and we used an outlet or a hot hole to generate electricity.
But wait, before the show, we have some jokes for you.
Why is a peninsula good with cookies? Because it's shaped like a T. Why do people not like to go on mesas? Because they're too messy. I hope you like the short film show.
And I hope you like the Jupiter Short Film Special Edition.
Once upon a time, there was a giant who lived in a land that was very peaceful and serene. He was a happy giant who loved his land, and you heard birds chirping all around. He would make music by pulling the strong trees out of the ground and using them as drumsticks. When it rained, it was his favorite time to shower and sing as loud as he could.
La, 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 la.
Every night he prayed to the heavens above that everything would stay the same. He was a happy giant, and he loved his land. One day, the giant was peacefully humming his favorite tune when he heard an unexpected sound. Is that the sound of whistling I hear? I'm the only one here. Who's in my peaceful land? The giant peered through the group of trees and saw a group of villagers walking into his land. He did not want people on his land, so he tried to push them away. He pushes the land so hard that it pushed out a form of a peninsula with the water covering 3 sides of the landform. He fell into the water crying, but then suddenly he felt something poking his big toe. He looked down and it was a tiny doll made out of twigs and string. To his surprise, the little doll began to speak to him. He said, "Hello, giant. I am a worry doll. I take away the worries of the people. What is troubling you?"
My problem is I was living a peaceful life, and then these villagers came and took away my peaceful land.
"You might want to make friends with them," said the doll. "You might like them."
Friends, I like being alone. I don't need them.
The giant listened to this advice and thought about it as he walked away. The next day, the giant woke up. He heard the sound of an axe chopping down his lovely trees, building their houses. He felt his anger boiling up inside of his body. He stood up tall and punched his fist into the rich soil. This caused a huge volcano to form, and hot, boiling lava shot out of the center.
All of a sudden, he felt something poke him on his ankle. He looked down and it was the same tiny doll made of twigs and string. The doll said,
Hello, giant. What is troubling you? Tell me your worries.
I don't know what to do. I was sleeping soundly and I woke up to hear the thumping of trees. These are my trees. This is my land. Maybe you should go talk to them and see what they're doing with the trees. If you get to know them, you might understand them. You might like them. The giant listened to this advice and thought about it as he walked away.
The giant woke up and listened very closely for any unusual sounds. He was so happy to hear the silence he remembered so fondly. Before the villagers came to his land, he stood up and began to walk, and something sticky began to cover his feet. What is this? Mud?
He followed the trail of mud and he noticed that they were building a garden and all of their water was spilling all over his land. He got upset and slipped on the soil and a mountain formed. Before he could get upset, he heard a beautiful song in the distance. It was so lovely, he found himself walking towards the village to find where it was coming from. To his surprise, he saw the entire village all holding hands and singing together. He saw how much they loved each other, and for the first time, this made him feel lonely. Warm tears began to fall from his stinging eyes. Then he heard a soft sobbing coming from himself. The emotion surprised him more than ever because he had never felt sadness. He felt a soft poke on his ankle and he looked down, but this time he did not see the little worry doll. He saw the villagers standing by. They asked him, "Why are you so sad, Giant? Why are you crying?" The giant said, "I feel lonely. I lived on this land for so long by myself, but now I realize that I've never had a family like you all do." You can be a part of our family, Giant. We all live together and we help each other when we need it. You may not know this, but you have helped us every day.
You have brought the peninsula that lets us walk out further to fish. You brought the volcano that gives nutrients to our soil. You have brought us these beautiful mountains that block the sun from scorching our skin. You brought this beautiful waterfall that gives water to take bath and helps our boat sail.
The giant looked around and saw all the beautiful landforms that he brought to the land, and he felt very pleased with himself. The villagers needed him and he needed them. For the first time, he was part of a community and a family. He was truly home.
So this is how our story ends. The giant and the villagers lived happily ever after in a land full of landforms.